A curvature-based account of how a field reorganizes through presence alone. Presence-driven field reconfiguration describes what happens when a field changes simply because an observer enters it. No intervention is required. No instruction, persuasion, or direct manipulation is necessary. The field reorganizes because presence itself alters local conditions. What changes is not first the psychology of individuals, but the geometry of the field, its gradients, pacing, incentives, tensions, and pathways of possible action. An observer, in this sense, functions as a curvature shift. The field responds by adjusting its own internal structure. Presence as curvature perturbation. Presence acts as a localized perturbation. Once introduced, it changes the stability of nearby trajectories and the relative shape of local options. This may appear as changes in group pacing, altered decision trajectories, shifts in perceived risk-reward contours, reorganization of attention and allocation. The change is structural before it is personal. Non-interventional influence. Influence here does not arise through explicit action. It emerges because agents and structures begin responding to altered conditions, such as implicit comparison, perceived evaluation, competitive or cooperative inference, altered spatial or cognitive tension, amplified or collapsed uncertainty. Presence does not force the field, it changes the conditions under which the field continues. Local variance collapse. One consequence of strong presence is a reduction in local variance. Behavior narrows, exploration decreases, drift becomes more directional. This can appear as faster convergence of group behavior, reduced exploratory movement, stronger commitment to existing trajectories, increased rigidity or sudden decisiveness. The field begins closing around fewer possible paths. Compensation dynamics. Fields compensate for altered curvature by redistributing load and reorienting movement. This compensation may appear as acceleration, delay, enforced symmetry, abrupt divergence, density reallocation. These changes do not require direct interaction. They arise because the field is trying to stabilize itself under new conditions. Reconfiguration over outcome. Presence does not create outcomes from nothing. It accelerates the emergence of trajectories already latent in the field. What was previously diffuse becomes clearer. What was unstable becomes directional. What was unresolved moves toward form. Presence acts less as a cause than as a catalyst. Structural consequence. Presence-driven field reconfiguration helps explain why fields often begin shifting before anyone has done anything. The observer does not need to act in order to matter. A field may reorganize simply because a new curvature has entered it. The result is not always control. Often it is exposure. Presence makes the field reveal how it was already arranged to move. Naming declaration. Presence-driven field reconfiguration originates within the meta-writing ecology as a curvature-based description of non-interventional observer influence. It does not derive from psychology, behavioral science, sociology, or social influence theory, although it may intersect with phenomena described in those fields. The concept names a condition in which the mere introduction of an observer induces structural reorganization within a field. Within this framework, presence is treated not as intention or effort, but as a curvature perturbation that alters local gradients, reduces variance, and accelerates latent trajectories already present in the system.